How do I define resilience? I would say not giving up, pushing past the obstacles that may stand in your way. Also, I would define resilience as, you know, not taking no for an answer, going for your
Mm.
goals, uh, just just not stopping, keep going. You know,
Hello, 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 everybody. It's Annika LaQuette here, the host and creator of Navigator Now podcast. Y'all have someone on with me today. I have Nysa. Hey,
hey girl, how are you?
girl. Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so glad and honored to be here.
Yes, I am so happy that you're here as well. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Nisa, and I am a visionary and an entrepreneur, and I just love to serve people, help people in any capacity that I'm able to. And Miracle Moments is based off my life, where I experienced my first miracle moment at birth with my stomach and my esophagus not connected at birth. And that just has inspired me to help others discover their miracle moment, whether in their personal life or in their business. And as I always say, every moment in life is your miracle moment.
Period. I love that.
Yes.
Yes, I love that so much. And y'all, she spells it like very different. Something I've never seen before.
Mhm.
Okay, it's spelled Mirakul. Okay, so that's
Yes.
miracle. I love that. I, yes, I really do. So, like you stated before, your miracle moment. So, tell us like what inspired you to create that brand. Like, what was that journey like?
So, in starting my business and starting my brand, I wanted a name to embody who I was as a person and, basically what I stood for. And I love the Lord. I love to just serve his people. And with that, I was like, you know what? Because I used to spell it the regular way. But then I'm like, you know what? I want something different. I want something catchy so that when people see it, they want to ask questions like, what does that mean? How did you come up with that name? So I was talking with one of my co founders and I was like, you know what? We can spell it differently. So I'm like, what
Hmm.
about Mirakul? Because that's different, right?
Yep.
Nobody, I mean, a lot of people spell it regular miracle, but I wanted something different. So that's how that came into play. And so I think I'm answering your question right. Am I getting to your
Yeah, you are.
okay,
Yes.
great. Because sometimes I can go off on a tangent. So just stop being real
No, you're
clear
good.
when you're ready. So that's how Miracle Moments came into play. I wanted a name for my business and my brand to embody who I was. And my name actually means miracle of God.
Come on
So
now. I
Nisa
love.
means miracle of God. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I take that and put moments to it? So Miracle Moments. And my slogan is every moment in life is your miracle moment,
Mm, I
which is a
love
very
that.
true statement.
Yes, that is true. I really love that. Like, yeah, how you tie in two things together, and it's like everything is meant to be. So that is
Mhm.
beautiful. I love that. So, how do you help people recognize and embrace their miracle moment?
The way I help people discover their miracle moment is in their business or in their personal life, and that can be done through a creation of flyers, notarization. I am a North Carolina notary, PowerPoint presentation, graphics, logos, designs, customized business cards, event coordinating, executive administrative assisting, also personal assisting. There's a whole bunch of things that I do. Book editing, I've done that as
Hmm.
well. So I
All
just
that.
dibble and dabble in a little bit of everything. And, God has gifted me with these talents. So I can't just let them stay dormant. I have to be able to be of assistance to his people and their vision.
Wow, I love that. Yes, you are involved in a lot of stuff, which I saw. I said, okay, she like me. We
Yes.
twins. Oh yeah, most definitely. So, okay, what challenges did you face when launching your business, and how did you overcome them?
Oh my Lord. So I started my business January 2007. No, 2000, no, January 17th, 2024 was my official where my business was official. So give you some backstory. I wanted to start my business before my 35th birthday, right? So I had one of my friends text me on that Monday, January 15th. I'll tell you why these dates are important, because this is how quick God can allow things to happen.
Come on now.
So January 14th was Sunday. I just got out of church. I was at Walmart, but I was also listening to Rock City, Pastor Mike Jr. In my earbud coming out of Walmart. And in his message, he was saying, all you may have is a name, but get started. So I'm like, you know what? That was another confirmation, because, as people, we have these ideas in our head, but we don't actually take action. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, that's just another thing that I want to do. So by me hearing him say that, that was another confirmation to get started. So that day, I just had it in my head. I'm like, okay, that was a good sermon. It inspired me to, go ahead and get started, but I didn't take action on Sunday. So
Hmm.
I got another confirmation on Monday, and then they were like, what's your goal for this year? And I told them, and they were like, what's stopping you? I was like, well, I only got 2 weeks till my 35th birthday. So in doing that, they was like, it's possible you can do it. And so I just went on Monday, did what I had to do, took care of some errands, came back home, went online and applied for my business license. And then also I applied for my EIN, which you can get all in the same day after you apply for your business license. So 2 days later, I checked my email, and on January 17th, I got the notification that says, congratulations, Miracle Moments is an LLC. So
Come on.
January 17th, 2024, Miracle Moments LLC was officially established as a business. And the
Mm.
challenge, I would say, in getting started, I would say myself, because myself, I wanted to stand in my way, have all these thoughts in my head of like, okay, so what now? Like, I I also thought to myself, like, you can't do this, but then also telling myself you can do all things through Christ that gives you strength. And cause y'all listen, so like my niece every morning, but while she was getting on the school bus, I would go through with affirmations telling her, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you can do all things through Christ that gives you strength. And then it's another thing to have to eat those words, remind yourself that you can do all things through Christ that gives you strength. So I'm like, you know what? I can do this. I can
Yeah.
start my business, and this will not defeat me. So that's one of the challenges that I face when getting started, is knowing, reminding myself I can do this. This is a journey, and I can do it.
Mm. That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, the daily affirmations are very important.
Yeah,
Yeah. Speak it to yourself in the mirror, speak it to other people. That's a beautiful thing. I love that. That's really good.
yeah,
Yeah. So, okay, I saw that, and you also stated that you have dealt with health issues as well.
yeah.
So, take us back to the beginning when, of course, you was a baby, of course, so you
Uh-huh.
really, you had
Yeah,
experience it. But take us back, and also take us back to when you was undergoing surgeries for your heart as well.
yeah.
I saw that too.
Uh-huh.
Tell us how that shaped your life and how are you now?
Okay, so y'all listen. I'm actually working on a book about my life. So when I turned 35, I started the process of interviewing my parents to get their perspective of me as a baby and everything they may have had in their minds. So when I was born, my esophagus and my stomach was not connected, and that the doctor that delivered me discovered that. So he was able to get with a doctor in Duke University in yeah, Duke University in North Carolina. So the next day after I was born, I was sent by myself, just me, the transporters, and the Lord, to Duke
Mm,
University. And so at that time, my mom couldn't go because she had had a C-section, and she had to have time to heal.
right.
Mind you, at this time, I am not the only child. I have five other siblings, so there's a
Ooh.
total of six of us, and I'm the youngest, right?
Mm,
Yes. There's a total of six children. So it was just me in the transporters going to Duke, and I had to have the heart valve, my esophagus and my stomach reconnected. Not
Yeah.
only that, but while my parents were here, back at our house, and I think this was a Wednesday, they were at church or something like that. The doctors from Duke had called them and said, we noticed something going on with her heart. We're going to have to do emergency surgery.
Mm.
So at that time, my parents were not there for that portion, but I believe they were there for the reconnection of my esophagus and my stomach at that time. So I had to go through heart valve surgery. Just me, the doctors, and the Lord, of course. As always,
Mhm.
the Lord is ever present. So
Yep.
he's gonna continue to. At that time, he was covering me, and the prayer warriors were praying as well. During the interview with my mom and my dad, they said that when they got that call, of course, they called the intercessors. They prayed and had everybody praying and interceding on my behalf. So in that, I was at Duke for about a month and a half until after I was born. So I had to learn how different, like walking, and was that the I think that was at that point. I know I was there for a long time, for like a month and a half. I had to learn different things, and that walking part could have been like an outpatient thing.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I'm actually still researching and doing some researching and all the things to compile it in my book. So stay tuned to that, and that would be great. But as far as that part, I just remember the me being there, and I remember also having my feeding tube for 5 years, where I could not have solids, but I was only fed through a feeding tube with liquid.
Wow. Oh my God. That's amazing. Like, and how are you doing now?
I'm doing great now. Last year, yeah, it was last year. I had a little bit of a scare, but to God be the glory.
Okay.
Everything
Yep.
was good. I had to end up having an upper endoscopy with a balloon. So what they did was they were able to stretch my esophagus because they noticed it was narrow. And the way I found
Okay.
this out, every time I would eat, I start coughing. And I'm like, okay, God, what is going on? So I
Right.
went and got checked up, and they were like, you know what? Your esophagus is narrow going down. So even when I was eating, I would cough, and then I would also have a little, it would hurt going down. So
Mm.
that's what was causing that. But I'm
Wow.
great
See,
now.
yeah.
I love to eat. I mean, hey,
Okay. I'm happy to hear that. I love to eat
yeah,
too. That's amazing. Like, it's amazing that they found it out and they was able to help you out. And then now, look at you now. Even
yeah,
though you had like a scare, look at you now. So anybody else who's dealing with this with their babies or just dealing with it in life, look at you.
yes,
This is a testimony. And
yeah,
they could be watching this interview and be like, "Oh my gosh, my kid, will be great." That is
mm-hmm,
a beautiful thing. So I am happy that God
mm-hmm,
watched over you and
yeah,
your family.
yeah,
So and still watching over you to this day. So that's amazing. I love that.
yeah,
So yes. Okay, so besides uplifting people, I saw that you have a lot of talents. Like you stated earlier, that you're a graphic designer. Y'all should do everything, okay? She's also an editor and a publisher and a notary and so many other things. So how do you balance all those avenues in your personal life?
oh. Girl, to be honest with you, that is something I am still working through.
Okay.
Because it's not easy. Because sometimes I could be like just laying there and just having a moment to myself, and then I get these downloads, and I'm like, oh God, I want to rush in to start working on it.
Right.
But I have to remember the pause. I have to pause, reflect, and just know that I can space out that time. Put it on the calendar for a time that I can work on that, and just set that a time that time aside, because it's important to have that balance, because if you don't, you can go into burnout. And I don't want to go
Yes.
into burnout. I want to be able to enjoy life and then also have my, do business. But
Right.
creating that balance is very important. That is definitely something I'm continuing to work through daily. Uh, and also during that self care as well. Not a lot of
Okay.
times have I experienced or allowed myself that self care that I needed, but it's very important not only for business but also for my health. If I want my business to continue to thrive, I have to take that self-care time. I have to pour into myself just as I pour out to others.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I agree with self care. I have a whole self care day on Sunday. I always encourage people to dedicate one day, at least one day for the week,
Mm,
to yourself where you just be like, no, I'm not doing nothing else. Just focus on me. I don't even be at the house. But if I do have to leave out the house, I'll be like, okay, that's only for people I love. But if it's just like, nah, no, I ain't going nowhere. But
okay.
yes, I will encourage you because you say you don't take a lot of self care time. I will encourage you to take at least one day or at least
Yeah,
a few hours, you
yeah.
know, to yourself where you just say no to other people.
And you know what? I did that actually, okay, so it was a moment I had a little self care. So I took my niece to go get her nails done. And so while I was there, I was like, you know what? Might as well get a pedicure while I'm here. Why not? And that was a
Right.
part of my self care, which I'll be posted that on my my business page and talking about self-care and all and just tying that all in together because self-care is definitely important. Sometimes we don't realize how important it is until we get to
Mhm.
that point of burnout and that self-care is all we is actually in demand. So
Yes.
while it's not in demand, it's very necessary to do.
Yeah. Okay. I completely understand that. I'm glad you got your nails and feet done. Yes, ma'am. I love
Yeah.
that. Okay. Yes. So, who and what inspires you to continue to pour into other people?
Oh, who or what? I would say God because like I mentioned earlier, God has poured into me so much. So how can I just contain everything that he's pouring into me? I have to share it out to others. His love for me is unconditional, so I have to show people love, compassion. Sometimes it can be hard, but we as people, we have to show love that God gives to us daily. And he also extends to us grace. So we have to extend that same grace that God gives to us.
Oh yeah, I completely understand that. I agree. So, how do you define resilience, and what advice would you give someone who's currently facing life-altering challenges?
How do I define resilience? I would say not giving up, pushing past the obstacles that may stand in your way. Also, I would define resilience as, you know, not taking no for an answer, going for your
Mm,
goals, just not stopping, keep going. Sometimes I'll say personally, me, I believe I know I'm resilient because everything that I've experienced in life and I'm still standing and God has allowed me to keep going. How can I not be resilient? How can I just settle for the norm when I know
right.
there's so much in me that God has placed within me? I have to be resilient.
Yeah, I love that so much. And do you have any upcoming projects you're working on today, or in the future that you'd
Girl, let
like
me
to share?
tell you, yes, I'm actually working on a Miracle Moments journal. It's a guided journal to help you
Okay.
discover your miracle moments and also to reflect on those miracle moments that you've had that you not realized was a miracle moment. Small things can be miracle moments, just like waking up in the morning. But that's a big thing, right?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
getting out of bed, that's a miracle moment. Or, just subtle things that how God can place things in your path of something you could have been praying for or thinking in your mind and you haven't actually prayed for. And God can bring somebody to deliver an encouraging word. That's a
Yeah.
miracle moment because that could be something that you needed for the day to get you to the next moment. Because you could be breaking down, but in that God in those small, subtle ways, God brings miracle moments in your life. So I'm working on
Yeah.
the miracle moments journal, and then I'm also working on greeting card line, which would consist of birthday cards.
Okay.
Also thinking of you cards. I've already created two. I've done a birthday card just the other day, and I
Right.
created a Father's Day card, which was really cute. I should have had it right here, but I don't. I did a greeting card line, and so I'm working on the greeting card line, and then also some Miracle Moments merch as well.
Okay.
So that's
That's
just
good.
a little bit, and then
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Just a little
I
bit.
do have a card on Etsy. It's a Miracle Moments affirmation reflection card that I have out now on Etsy. So it's great. Yeah.
That's good. I'm so happy for you.
Thank
Love that.
you.
You're welcome. And lastly, give yourself a shout out. Tell people where they can follow you and the services you provide.
Okay, guys, not if. So connect with me on Miracle Moments LLC. That's on Facebook. Also, you can connect with me on TikTok at Miracle Moments and then also on Instagram, Miracle Moments 2024. And then also, you guys can text 252-515-3197 and text the name of this show, Never Denied Access. Never Denied, right?
Never gave the name.
Never gave denied. Text that to 252-515-3197. I'm sorry for butchering the name.
Girl,
So
you
text that, and then I know where we connected from. And then just text your name and your contact information. And I would love to connect with you to help you discover your miracle moment within your business or in your personal life, because every moment in life is your miracle moment.
yes, I love that. That's beautiful. I want to thank you so much for coming on Never Gave the Nine podcast today.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor. So I'm so blessed to be here.
Yes. Okay. Period. And remember, yes, life was delayed, but it never gave a nine. I'm your host, Annika LaQuette, and you just listened to Never Gave a Nine podcast.